Good morning. Thank you for tuning in today. Please take some time to share this because this is definitely information that we want everybody in LACLEDE County to get their hands on as we have our weekly COVID-19 briefing. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's taken time to express their support of our leadership. We have some of the very best folks around that are working hard to keep us safe here in LACLEDE County, and I certainly appreciate all the people that are taking time to share the support and concerns, and that's a wonderful thing. Also, I've been noticing people taking the recommendations, the guidelines way more seriously, wearing masks and gloves and stuff like that in public, so that's a great thing too. I feel like we're blessed in LACLEDE County. We've been blessed. Looks like the sunshine's coming out again, so the two things I always say is get out and enjoy some sunshine if you can, and contact somebody. If you haven't seen somebody or talked to somebody in quite some time, reach out to them. Someone may just be waiting for someone to call them to let them know they care, and that's what people need. I can tell you right now that a lot of folks are suffering from the mental health aspects of this, from the isolation and just the constant negative stuff on the news. Go be somebody's good news today. Make a difference in that way. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So I want to open us up with prayer, as we often do. So we're going to ask you to pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your hand of protection. God, we ask that you continue to guide our leadership. God, thank you for our leaders. God, thank you for a community that is listening and taking things serious, Lord, so we can stay healthy. Lord, continue to protect us and keep your hand upon us as we continue to navigate these waters. Be with us this day. Amen. All right, first we're going to start with Charla as she brings us the briefing from our health department. Charla?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And as Kelly alluded to, it's very nice to see that sunshine out there today. It certainly helps to lift our spirits. So we'll go ahead and get started with our first slide. From our briefing last week, this slide and information has not changed. From last week to yesterday, 99 cities and/or counties across the state of Missouri have reported laboratory-confirmed cases of COVID-19. 18 counties remain with no laboratory-confirmed cases. And as of yesterday, the positive cases of COVID-19 in the state totaled 7,425 cases, and an approximate 77,037 Missouri residents have been tested for the COVID-19 illness. This next slide is a case snapshot over the past 3 weeks, past 3-week period in the state, and how the state's cases have grown. So as additional positive cases are added, your columns continue to show an increase. There we go. There was a system reporting glitch with one of the commercial laboratories, which was reported on April the 24th. So on that day, a significant number of cases were reported. However, a large number of those cases can be traced back to that system reporting issue, and not necessarily a great amount of cases on that specific day. During this 3-week period, the highest number of cases reported occurred from April the 13th to the 14th, with a total of 298 cases in that 24-hour period. The lowest number of cases reported occurred from the 28th to the 29th, just 2 days ago, with 122 cases reported. Now, excluding that 24-hour time frame with a commercial laboratory reporting issue, our 5-day average has been 160 cases per day across the state. In the previous slide that we are just leaving, it illustrated the actual number of COVID-19 cases over the past 3 weeks. This graph shows from the beginning of the year how Missouri cases have occurred. The orange line represents the cumulative total number of cases in the state, while the blue columns represent the actual cases per day. The first cases began being reported during the first week of February, and it's actually hidden under the orange line. There are a few cases each week that was reported, and it appears that the cases have peaked approximately around April the 6th. The next slide shows the Missouri cases by age range. The 50 to 59 age range continues to hold the majority of our cases at 1,396, with the 60 to 69-year-olds being close behind with 1,237. 38% of the total Missouri cases fall into the 60 to 80 plus age range. Now, as we begin to reopen the state and our local communities in phases, this is very important for our older population and those individuals with health issues to remember to remain diligent and cautious when we go out into public. As of yesterday, the reported deaths here in the state totaled 318 individuals. While we see that 38% of the cases affecting our older population and those with health issues, we see 88% of the statewide deaths also affecting this population. As of this morning, just before we came over for the briefing, our total numbers for LaClede County will come up. The total number of known testing currently stands at 217. Our total known negative is 201. Positives still remain at 0, and we do have 16 known pending cases at this time. Or I'm sorry, test at this time. Let me clarify that, test. In the next slide, we'll be talking a little bit about Missouri's reopening and the Show Me Strong Recovery Plan. So Governor Parson issued his Show Me Strong Recovery Plan earlier this week, which becomes effective at 12:01 a.m. on May the 4th. This plan details how our state and LaClede County can begin to reopen businesses and events in manageable phases. But also carefully watch for signs that the COVID-19 disease may become a resurgent or issues for some counties, and for others bringing our first cases. As Governor Parson explained during his press conference release, we should not look at the reopening, as a flip of the switch, but rather the turning of a dial. Many in our community have followed our guidelines and recommendations, and we're asking you to do that again with these phased reopenings. In an effort to help our community with the reopening, our agency has worked with our city and county partners, business owners, and our Region I local public health departments, and we have developed some guidance documents to help our local businesses. So we have the current guidelines or guidance documents put into place. Those range from general business, food establishments, catering, coffee shops and bars, hair salons, barber shops, nail salon, tattoo parlors and massage therapists, gyms and fitness centers, movie theaters, bowling alleys, skating rinks, parks, swimming pools, sports venues, and churches. So we've tried to cover a wide variety of businesses and organizations in our community, as well as still working on other venues and other businesses. Now, these documents can be located on our Facebook page as well as the city's pages. We welcome any questions from our business owners, and we are happy to work with you to reopen LaClede County safely. And I think I'm going to turn over the mic to our Chamber of Commerce Director and one of our county commissioners, Daryl Pollack.
It's always a good time when the time allotted for the first speaker is very short, because things are getting good. And so we're really thankful for that report. And what I'd like to share is last week as some of the numbers and how this has impacted some of our community as far as maybe employees and employers. A lot of questions over the last week, especially since the back to work has come up and reopening of our businesses and our economy. And so I want to address some of those questions from maybe those that have been impacted that we may not have really thought about, those that are our small business folks and the impact there. But first of all, I just want to say again, thankful for those that have done so much over these last weeks since the pandemic was kind of brought in the United States, then as it came more local, and how we were dealing with that in the state and our local area. It's very been, it's not a playbook for that. So we've been kind of doing this on the fly. And honestly, you couldn't have done it any better, really, locally, and get the results that we've had. So from efforts of those that have put the work forward, and I think maybe as a matter of prayer, our community's been spared at some level. So we're very thankful for that. So now back to our business. Our businesses have played a very critical role in helping to stop that spread right here in LaClede County and in Lebanon. As these orders and restrictions were put into place now, as they begin to open up operations from businesses that may have been altered the way they did business to those that actually closed their doors through the entire time or were asked to close their doors, and some voluntarily closed their doors. Now is the time, as we look on May 4th, as we begin to reopen those across our community. And this is a way that I think you could take some of these. We have these available on our Chamber of Commerce Facebook page, and they'll be on our web page by the weekend. So if you're thinking, I don't know what he's talking about here, I wish I couldn't keep up with him right now, we'll have these available. These will be based on best practices. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce has given some guidelines to us to follow as businesses in their efforts to create safe workplaces for their employees and their customers. So we would encourage and strongly encourage employers and business owners to closely follow these recommendations and those that have been published by Governor Mike Parson and our local health officials as they seek to reopen this Monday. Very quickly, I'll go through this list. One of the top things you want to consider when you do this is reducing the risk of transmission of COVID-19. So one of the first recommendations is create a training to review new safe at work requirements and guidelines for all employees. You've been trying to think, I need to get back to work, I need to open, and I totally 100% understand that, and these have been difficult days. But we have the responsibility too now to not only look about trying to figure out how to get that business back, but how we do it in a way that is responsible. And so if returning to work and you've been closed, and maybe you've been trying to, and some of you have done these, and I know you have because you've been on weekly phone calls and had meetings, and how you've been adapting practices to be responsible for those employees or potential customers. And so this training needs to be done on day one. When you come back Monday, create this training program or review a safe at work requirements with your employees. Train your employees on frequent hand washing. Again, that just doesn't just stop. This is probably something that's going to be ongoing now for quite some time. Properly covering your coughs and sneezes. This is all elementary, but this stuff is that we continue to do these things so that we don't get ourselves back into where we have to scale back again, and we do not want to do that. Refrain from touching your face. You need to promote personal hygiene. If workers do not have access to soap and water for hand washing, they need to have that sanitizer, this bottle right here. Kelly, could they come and borrow some of that? Yeah, so come and get a squeeze of that. Honestly, if there's not available, and sometimes it's not easily accessible at some businesses, so be sure to have that. Provide disinfectants, disposable towels, and try to keep clean work surfaces. Those are all, you think it's elementary, but we need to step up the efforts in doing that. Clean the surfaces frequently, make wipes, sanitizer, cleaning products widely accessible throughout the entire workplace. Clean your break rooms, common touch areas, doorknobs, light switches, phones after each shift. Don't wait. Go ahead and clean them after every shift. Some of you are just the same shift. You're 8 to 5. Clean them frequently throughout the day, and especially during shifts. Stagger your breaks and lunch so that not everybody is sitting in the break room at one time. Do it at multiple levels. Offer lunch breaks in your vehicles instead of sitting in the lunchroom. These are things that will get us through phase one. And then as we get further on and we don't have any other concerns come up, then we're able to do a few less burdensome things like this, but still we want to do our personal responsibility as business owners is to implement these kind of practices for the foreseeable future. Limit your meetings to no more than 10 individuals, provided that there's enough spacing for that. Reminder that we continue to have that 6-foot social distancing rule, so you'll be able to know whether you have your meetings at your offices. Space out your desk and workstations. If you need temporary walls between them, it'd be a good time to do it before you open. Thorough cleaning of all shared surfaces. That should be done daily, if not more often. And if you have the, depending on your business and how you have interaction, if you need to provide masks or shields or gloves or shoe coverings or coverall, whatever that type is appropriate for your business, have those available as well. If you can do touch-free solutions such as individual water containers instead of one large water container, that's another way that it would be very helpful for you as you reopen your business. These are, again, recommendations. These are not checklists. I've got to hit this or I'm going to get an F here when somebody comes visits me. That's not how this works. These are very common sense solutions and guidelines for you to be responsible in your place of business as you reopen. If you have the ability to continue to do curbside delivery, people can come and pick it up, because what we're looking at here is that not every customer you have is going to be very, they're going to wait and see. Some will be right back in, and they've been waiting for this to open, but some are still going to be reserved. And so you may still be able to serve that customer by doing this outside curbside delivery. So it's going to stretch your business, but it's going to continue to see that you're serving your customers well, all of your customers. If you will need to limit the number of customers in your facility to ensure appropriate distancing. There are those guidelines, again, as I referred to at the beginning, to the local LaClede County Health Department has those. You can get those online. Depending on your type of small business, there's different levels of what is going to be expected for you to follow for this opening for customer service. Some of these are based on the amount of square footage you have and the amount of customers you can have in based on that square footage. Vendors. These are people coming from outside the community, possibly into our business. You want to protect your employees. If you have vendors come in, you may want to require that deliveries are set outside rather than come inside. And so you kind of take that risk of elevation of potential that might be now really down to a very low level of potential that you might be able to pass that from someone outside of the community. So if you can set up a vendor area that keeps out of the interaction with those deliveries, that would be very helpful for you, and I think probably alleviate some fears from some of your employees as well. Maintain those logs if you've got deliveries from outside the area it's coming in, where those maybe are coming in at. It's not very difficult. You just it's not actually required, but this is something that may be helpful for you if for some reason that there may be an interaction with someone that maybe has had that or exposed to that and then is making delivery to your location. Employee health. This is like a long lens approach. This is probably something that maybe be going to do for quite a while as a small business owner and being responsible. Conduct temperatures of your employees. Ask them at the beginning, do you feel sick or whatever? These are available. If there's cough, shortness, all those signs of that this may have been a potential that they have had this or maybe experiencing this. Have that communication open there, and maybe the ability to stop something from spreading in your small business from an employee, so that you are watching that and being personally responsible for those that maybe come in and have that ability to maybe spread that among other employees. So create a response plan for employees who report or demonstrate symptoms at work. Know what you're going to do with that instead of reacting to it. It's good to have that plan available. Workplace signage. It's very important that your employees know what these expectations and guidelines are and their responsibility is. And it's also important for the customer to know as they're entering your place of business that they see that we are, you're going to follow these phase one implementations, these guidelines. You're going to follow those, that we're not allowing any more than what can be allowed into our place of business. We're going to continue to use the 6-foot distancing rule, and we take it very seriously. And I think your customers would appreciate that from their local businesses. Again, it comes back to communication and education to your employees and carry out your plan and protocols, and everyone knows what their direction and what that plan is. I'll finish up with, we were in a meeting this morning, and I was able to, there's a lot of responsibility that's going to be coming on to as a county official in doing some funding in areas that we weren't expecting that would maybe take place with us, but nonetheless, we're going to make those decisions, and maybe our presiding commissioner might elaborate on that at another point, maybe today. But during that discussion, it just struck me, and it's kind of how this works sometimes. If you put this in you, then it comes out at some point. That in Luke 12:48, it says, "To whom much has been given, much will be required." So it's a responsibility. If entrusted with much, much more is going to be asked of you. So as a leader, as a business owner, as elected, as an essential designee, that you've been asked, and you've been asked more. Why? Because much has been given, and you're going to be continued to be asked to do more. And it seems like that's how it's been through these kind of unprecedented times that we've been going through. So I just say thank you for our community and the work of the efforts of the leaders in it, and through this time, and the understanding by many that are impacted by this, maybe loss of job or loss of business even. We know we're instances where businesses have closed and not going to make this. And then we also know that there are those that have been dutifully implementing their best practices to continue to safeguard our community. So very thankful for it. Now as we prepare to do this opening on Monday, you're going to be asked to do more responsibility. Again, too much has been asked, to whom much has been asked, much will be required. So thank you again. God bless you all, and enjoy the sunshine today.
Let you finish wiping off. Now you're throwing tissues at me. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lebanon Mayor Jared Carr, and I just want to thank everybody and thank Charla and her team for everything that they've continued to do through this. And I know I've said that every week, but can't say enough about what your team does for this community, and appreciate everything that you guys do. As we move forward here and do reopen the community, I just want to remind everybody that if you are a business located inside the city limits, you can reach out to our code administration office at 991-3911, and they will come out and look at your building, look at your site, and we will provide, as a city, provide papers and signage, as Daryl was talking about, for your business, and look at that and work with you to have the right, I guess, whatever, right regulations in place, or be able to make those aware to your customers as they come in. Excuse me. I know a couple of things. The Funds for Food program, I'm pleased that this is, it just blows me away what this community does. And the fund balance is over $26,000 that they've raised so far in the community, and that is just a testament to how wonderful this community really is, which will provide over 100,000 meals to right here in Lebanon. So and LACLEDE County. So we're so blessed to be a part of this tremendous community, and as we move forward here, I just want to remind everybody that it is your responsibility to make sure that we stay COVID-free in LACLEDE County, and it is completely up to you. We can trial these guidelines and help you out and have these meetings every week, but it truly is up to you, this person that's visiting the community, that's getting around, and as we get back to some sort of normalcy with this, it truly is up to you to be aware of this and work in the community, and appreciate everybody's efforts and everything that everybody does for this community. So with that is all I have for today, but please reach out to us if you are a business owner as we move forward and with these guidelines in place. Keep going, and we'll come out of this together, Lebanon strong. So thank you very much.
Good morning, Randy Yanks, LACLEDE County Presiding Commissioner. And as I think about this year, I reflect that it's 2020. And when I think about 2020, then I think about vision. And so back on January 1st, the vision I had for the year certainly isn't quite what it is today. But what I've learned over the past 64 days meeting with this group of professionals and leaders here in our community, the City of Lebanon, LACLEDE County, our health department, OEM, the community partners that have offered their facilities here, LifePoint Church, then I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged because we know more today than we knew yesterday, and I've said that frequently, and we're going to know more tomorrow than what we know today. And I know from working and being around this group for the past probably 64 days now, I believe, I clearly have a vision that the vision of this group going forward is that we're going to come out safer, healthier, stronger, and more prosperous. So I'll just leave you with those words this morning, that we're committed, this group is committed, and it's the vision of this group that Lebanon and LACLEDE County are going to be stronger. And I thank you for your cooperation and your time this morning.
Okay, finally, the closing statement, and I promise you it will be a short one. First of all, I want to thank everybody in this room and on this presentation, and I want to say that it's really just starting now. Yes, we've had some hard times, we've done some things, we've asked you to do a lot of things as citizens of Region I and LACLEDE County and City of Lebanon, and you have done those well. And the numbers still do not lie. You know, our numbers are still zero. I think we're still zero in LACLEDE County Corrections. Is that correct, Mr. Allen? So the sheriff and their group is still doing a superb job with the county courthouse and the county jail facility. So we are going to have some openings, some good news Monday. And I just want to, first of all, thank everyone that's involved in the management of this team and the management of keeping this awful virus out of LACLEDE County, City of Lebanon, Region I. I think it's not one particular person or two or three. I think it's the team, and we're very much a top shelf A team in this area. And again, I want to thank the citizens. You've done your job and continue to do your job to protect us and keep us safe, but we cannot let our guard down now. We certainly cannot let our guard down now. The suggestions from the health department is that if you have a mask and you want to wear it out in public, then we encourage that. Doesn't necessarily have to be an N95 mask, but a face covering of some kind. Also, these N95 masks that are out there, most of them are reusable. I don't know if you know that or not, but if you mix 50% hydrogen peroxide in water and spray the outside and inside of that mask, and then set it in the sun for 30 minutes, and today's a great day to do that because we have plenty of sunshine out there, or use your blow dryer to blow dry it. You can use that several times, 24, 30 times actually, if you take care of it. The one question that OEM gets daily, and I mean multiple times daily, is can you help us get masks? And resources are still down on the N95 mask in the state of Missouri. It's very, very tough for us to fill our resources for our first responders, law enforcement, and fire. It's still tough. We have done it, and even if they didn't have a fresh N95 mask, they're still going to respond. So I want each of you, the citizens of City of Lebanon, Laclede County, and Region I, if you see a law enforcement officer, don't go up and hug them, or even give them a fist bump. Just say, I thank you very much. Next time you see a lawman, fire, rescue, a nurse, a doctor, I mean, these are the true heroes, and there's way more heroes in Laclede County, Region I, than I can sit up here and tell you about. There's a lot of silent heroes that makes all this happen, makes this management team work and do the right things for this area. So if you see one of those folks, you see a pastor, I mean, we're all part of the team. We are an A team. Thank them. Thank them. And the job isn't over. We've got a different job now. I think I've lost my mic. Okay? All right. We have a different job now, and that is the cleanup and the reopening. And I just want to say from OEM that I send Godspeed and luck and good skills, to open in the right way to try to keep us on that zero path that we've been on for these weeks, for the 64 days that presiding said that, we've talked about, this problem. So we probably will have one more broadcast next week, and if the numbers don't change, if we keep the numbers down, Charlotte, you agree with that? Okay. If the numbers don't change, then probably we'll fire this down next week. But I guarantee you, if we need to, we'll fire it up again the following week or every day. We're here to serve you, all of us. So at this time, I want to applaud everybody involved in the team, and that's everybody. And I want to turn it over to my deputy, Brian, to go ahead and close us out.
Thank you, everyone. We have been here all the way through this. We will continue as long as we are needed, as long with, we will keep putting out this information along with our officials of LACLEDE County. Thanks to all of our partners that help us with information daily. We will continue in doing our jobs and informing the citizens of this county and protecting them to the fullest. We would like to thank everyone now, and we will talk to everyone again at this same time, same day, next week. Thanks to everyone, and God bless.